that's the Rwanda policy. So you've said that you want to see planes take off by the spring to Rwanda. That's one of the things you've said. Now, I understand that no airline is willing to actually contract with government to remove people to Rwanda because of reputational damage. Is that correct? There isn't an airline that you've got lined up to remove people?
I think we are, in terms of timing, I'd say I want to get flights off as soon as practically possible.
You need some planes to do that.
We do, but we also need to be able to pass the legislation through Parliament first.
Right, but on the plane point, which I'm asking you specifically about, do you have an airline that's ready to go?
I'm confident we will have the ability to send people to Rwanda.
But you
there
don't
are many
have an airline.
steps. You wouldn't expect me to comment on commercial conversations that are necessarily private, but I'm highly confident that we can operationalise the bill in all its aspects.
Okay.
That's not just about flights. There's many different steps that you need. But the legislation needs to get through Parliament first.
Okay, so we're not
and
clear...
as quickly as it passes, then we will work
we're not
to
clear if
operationalise the bill.
any airlines. Okay. The Migration and Economic Development Plan, which you signed up to when you were Chancellor, I think, with the then Home Secretary, we know that 290 million now has been spent or is about to be spent in the next few months. Could you just tell the Liaison Committee how much the total amount that you signed up to for that 5-year plan? How much else, what's the amount that we've got to pay in addition to the 290?
I think you know full well, because the Home Secretary has said this in Parliament multiple times before. We disclose these things on an annual basis, and beyond that we've disclosed the most recent numbers.
Do you think that fits with your claim around professionalism, integrity and accountability, that we can't actually know how much you've agreed will be sent to Rwanda?
I said it's absolutely right for what are commercially sensitive negotiations, that there is a degree of ability for the government to negotiate these things and then provide the appropriate level of transparency to Parliament, which it's doing on an annual basis.
So could I just ask you, the Deputy Prime Minister at the weekend said that the funding for Rwanda was unlimited. Is that correct?
I think what he's saying is the scheme is uncapped.
No, he said unlimited funding when he was pressed. I think it was on Times Radio.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that. I'm not sure what I recognise. But the scheme in itself is uncapped, so we have the ability to send multiple people there. Obviously, there will be a degree of volume payments as well as fixed cost, which is
and is that the £169,000 per person that it'll cost to send someone to Rwanda? Is the Home Affairs, the Home Office impact assessment put forward?
I don't think that's an accurate characterisation of it, because what we don't know is the deterrent effect. Until the scheme has been operated, what we won't know is the final deterrent effect. Our belief is that there will be a significant deterrent effect, and that has to be compared. The cost of this scheme has to be compared against the counterfactual, where the costs are forecast to rise into the double-digit billions of pounds for the asylum system if the numbers continue to rise. Now, so this has to be compared to what that counterfactual...
Last question.
Can I just ask you on that point, does it worry you at all that the Permanent Secretary at the Home Office is still not willing to sign the Rwanda policy off because of the lack of value for money?
That's absolutely not what they said. They said it was entirely proper to pursue this scheme.
There was a ministerial direction,
yeah, and if you read the letter, I can find you the quote, they actually were very clear that it was perfectly proper for the government to continue with this scheme at the time. No, because we're trying something that's never been done before.
I understand that, Prime Minister.
But I think the words they used were it was regular, proper and feasible for the Home Secretary to proceed with this policy in light of the illegal migration challenge that the UK is facing. It's a matter of record that the direction was required, because we're doing something that hasn't been tried before.
Because there's no evidence it'll work. I think
but by definition, when you're doing something that hasn't... Well, actually, no, I do challenge that. We do have evidence that deterrence works. And our Albania partnership is evidence.
That's very different, Prime Minister.
Not really. It's a returns agreement with a country which allows us to return the vast majority of people who arrive illegally.
We have to move on.
I'll just finish it. You said there's no evidence. We have a returns agreement with Albania that's returned 5,000 people this country.
Not small boats.
The numbers from Albania.
Not small boats.
All returns serve to build a deterrent. The number of arrivals from Albania is down by 90%.
Thank you, Dame Diana.
New returns agreement, record returns, arrivals down by 90%.
Well,
I think that's a pretty good indication that deterrence and returns work.